Again, we are here with the Scott Show podcast in this day in history for December 13th. We are getting so close to Christmas. We only have 12 more days. I do want to say, as I say all the time on this show is dedicated to my grandfather, Marshall Yazel. He taught me everything I needed to know about history. And I learn every single day, but I learn because I got interested because of my grandfather. So, thank you, Grandpa. Alright, so today is December 13th. It is the 347th day of the year. 18 days remaining until the end of the year. And there you go. In this day in history, Sir Francis Drake set sail from England on his around-the-world voyage in 1577. In 1636, the Massachusetts Bay Colony organizes 3 militia regiments to defend the colony against the Indians. This organization is recognized today as the founding of the National Guard of the United States. So 1636, we founded the National Guard of the United States. In the English Civil War back in 1643, the Battle of Eldon takes place in Hampshire. 1758, the English transport ship Duke William sinks in the North Atlantic, killing 360 people. Alright, Dartmouth College was founded by Reverend Wheelock with a royal charter from King George III on land donated by the royal governor John Wentworth. Cyril VI from Constantinople resigns his position of patriarch back in 1818. In 1862, the American Civil War, the Battle of Fredericksburg. Confederate General Lee defeats the Union Major General Burnside. In 1928, Goodwin's American in Paris is first performed. Then 1939, I did say we were going to cover some World War II pretty much every day. If there is no news or no this day in history, I will let you guys know. But today there's just a few of them. The Battle of the River Plate. Captain Langendorf of the German Deutschland class cruiser Admiral and a pocket battleship engages with the Royal Navy in 1939. In World War II, the massacre of a place in Greece by German occupying forces, 1943. 1962, NASA launches Relay 1, the first active repeater communication satellite in orbit. 1967, Constantine II of Greece attempts a non-successful counter-coup against the regime of the colonels. In 1972, the Apollo program, Eugene Cernan and Harrison Smith begin the third and final extravehicular activity or moonwalk of Apollo 17. To date, they are the last humans to set foot on the moon. So here we are, many, many, many moons later, and our president just talked about going to the moon again. 1988, Yasser Arafat gives a speech at the UN Central Assembly meeting in Geneva after the United States refuses to grant him a visa to speak at the United States. 2002, European Union enlargement. The EU announces that Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Poland, Slovenia, and Slovakia will all become members on May 1st, 2004. In 2003, Saddam Hussein was captured in his hometown of Crete. In 2006, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is adopted by the United Nations. 2007, The Treaty of Lisbon is signed by member states of the European Union. And in 2011, a murder-suicide in Belgium killed 6 and wounded 125 people at a Christmas market. Now, I did say that a few days ago, when we started this whole day in history, that I was going to cover the births and deaths of people that are, important to what we got going on. And I'm a huge fan of covering the deaths. If it's important, I will, of course. And if it's something that, I'm going to bring it up. But you'll hear me talk a lot more about births. So it's just a heads up. So back in 1521, we're at births now. At 1521, Pope Sixtus V. Sixtus V, what the best name ever. 1818, married Todd Lincoln. Happy birthday, Mrs. Lincoln. 1925, Dick Van Dyke was born. 1929, Christopher Plummer. Golden Globe nominated Christopher Plummer. 1945, Herman Cain. He ran for president, so I had to remember him. 1948, Ted Nugent, and also 1948, Brian Wilson. So two people who, actually says Brian Wilson, Scottish journalist and politician. So not the Brian Wilson I was thinking. But 1949 was a great year. And it was a great year because Randy Owen from the musical group Alabama was born. And also one of the greatest English actors of all time, Robert Lindsay, was born 1949. I just like... Robert Lindsay is like the best because he's so cool. Wendy Malick was born 1950. Junkyard Dog, big-time wrestler, was born in 1952. Steve Buscemi in 1957. Mike Tirico in 1966. Jamie Foxx in 1967. Big-time shout-out to Jamie Foxx. Happy birthday to you. Sergei Fedorov, 1969. Sarah Cox, who is the English broadcaster, disc jockey, and all-around awesome person, 1974. BJ Penn in 1978. And T. Swift, yet Taylor Swift, was born this day in 1989. And we did lose a few people. I just want to bring this up a little bit. Like I said, I wasn't going to talk about deaths too much. We got some Dukes of Bavaria, Henry and Albert, both died on this day. Pope Calaxus II, that sounds like a Star Wars character, but we had some awesome names for popes back in the day. Died in 1124. But earlier ones, we had Lamar Hunt, who has the Lamar Hunt Trophy for the best soccer. He died in 2006. And Alan Thicke, you might know him from Growing Pains, and he was great. So Alan Thicke died, though, in 2016, and he will be missed. So other holidays and observances all across this country. St. Lucy's Day, mainly Scandinavia. It is martial law victims Remembrance Day in Poland. It's Republic Day in Malta and Sailor's Day in Brazil. So we are going to now sail away. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this day. As this day you will make history. And maybe I'll talk about it next year. So we'll see you guys real soon here on the Scott Show Podcast.